Thanks for clicking on to the Saturday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Hope everybody is enjoying their weekend so far. Temperatures, it is a warm one out there once again, unless you live in the northwest of Scotland, where temperatures are only sitting at 16 at Stornoway, 15 at Tain, which is quite interesting, 18 at Inverness, Dalcross. But of course, as you head south and east, temperatures are on the rise. 28.1 at Aboyne. We are talking about widespread upper 20s across central and southern Scotland. And then, of course, no surprise as you get down into the north of England, southwards, we are talking about widespread low 30s. Temperatures today likely to top around 34, possibly 35 mark once again. So it would be a third straight day in excess of 34 Celsius. Even across Ireland and Northern Ireland, we're talking about mid to upper 20s, as you can see here. It was another warm one overnight as well, by the way. We had a couple of spots recording another tropical night. If we look at the temperatures here, temperatures down along the south coast, it looks as if 20.4 at Portland Bill, another 20.6. I think that was the same as yesterday morning. 20.8 at Mumbles Head on the south coast of Wales as well. A couple of spots down in the single figures, but generally speaking, it was quite a mild night overall. Looking at the temperatures across the continent at this moment in time as well, and you can see here lots of hot sunshine across France. The core of the heat looks as if it's over France this afternoon. We're seeing a little bit of a reduction in temperatures. A couple of days ago, it was up to 45 Celsius in Spain, so very hot conditions. It's been a scorcher of a summer, of course, across Iberia and across France as well, where the drought situation continues to worsen. Odium in Hampshire is now sitting on day 43 without rain. Looks as if we're going to see another couple of days, I think, of no rain, and then we should start to see a change taking place Monday onwards next week, and I'll get to that in just a second. The current setup as we go through the course of today, we've got a boundary across the western northwestern fringes of Ireland and across western Scotland, hence the cloud and cooler temperatures. But what we are going to start to see is things liven up through the course of tomorrow, Monday, and on into Tuesday, where we're going to see an area of low pressure to the west and to the south of the UK start to build in, eventually choking off the heat back into the near continent once again. But as we play through this sequence here, you can see the setup that's taking place. Core of heat over France. We've got the low off the northwest coast of France, and high pressure kind of east and north of the UK. So what we're doing is we're essentially drawing that core of heat out of France and into the southern half of the UK. Tomorrow may see the warmest of the temperatures overall. If we don't hit 35 today, we may approach 35 tomorrow. All the while, we see the temperatures rising into the mid-30s across, from anywhere from Birmingham down towards, really in a triangle, Birmingham to Bristol, across to London, could see that zone 34, 35 Celsius. All the while, we could be talking about potential flooding, thunderstorm activity across parts of Northern Ireland and across Scotland during the course of tomorrow, where there is Met Office warnings in place. What we've got is the boundary moves a little bit further in to Scotland. We'll see the temperatures coming down, and we'll see the atmosphere basically start to react to the collision between energy and heat and humidity. And it looks as if tomorrow afternoon could be fairly messy across the northern half of the UK, as well as across parts of Ireland as well. Very hot conditions still across the Midlands, south and southeast of the British Isles. You can see here, this is the 8:50 temperatures for this afternoon. So we've got, of course, low pressure to the south, to the west, high pressure to the east and to the north. And of course, we're drawing that heat core out of France and into England and Wales, as you can see here. So continue to see that hot, dry conditions. But it's as we press through into the early portion of the new work week, area of low pressure over France kills the heat here, but it also means that we are lifting a little bit of that heat core up into the England and Wales region here. But eventually what happens is that area of low pressure combined with the frontal boundary to the west of Scotland kind of chokes off the heat, so to speak, and then there is a gradual breakdown and decrease in temperature. So going from mid-30s during the course of tomorrow afternoon, places like London and Norwich may only hit 23, 24 Celsius during the course of middle portion of next week. As you can see here, the 850 temperatures cool dramatically across the British Isles as we go towards the middle portion of the week. Northerly airflow, much fresher conditions, and that will be a very, very welcome relief for many places here. Looking at the overview chart of the GFS, a close-up of the UK, as you can see here, conditions go downhill across parts of Ireland and across Scotland during the course of tomorrow afternoon. Then, of course, low pressure becomes a little bit more established, and the heat and humidity reacts with the low pressure, producing more widespread showers and thunderstorm activity even to the southern half of the British Isles. I'm hopeful that we will see some significant, some rainfall at the very least anyway. It's not going to wipe out the drought. It's not going to wipe out the situation, the dire situation that farmers and agricultural folks are dealing with at the moment. It's going to take weeks of rainfall to alleviate this very arid situation. But let's watch what happens as we go through into the month of September. But you can see here on Wednesday afternoon, we've got shower activity around. Of course, these thundery breakdowns are never a good thing because you get too much rain too quickly. Also, one place gets it, another place, maybe only a couple of miles down the road, may miss out completely and stay dry. So these hit and miss showers and thunderstorms are never a particularly good thing. But you notice here the much messier picture overall across the British Isles during the middle portion of next week. Like I said, temperatures will come down quite significantly. This afternoon's temperatures mid-30s, as you can see here, according to the GFS. And then as we push into the day on Monday, we're seeing the peak temperatures only rising to about 30 Celsius across an area between London and say Kings Lynn, Grantham, Newark, for example. We're talking about 30 degrees roughly, but much cooler, as you can see here, across Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland. Gone are the high 20s across the Central Belt and Southern Scotland. We're back into the upper teens once again, so much fresher conditions here. And then as we press through the course of next week, daytime temperatures continue to decrease. By Wednesday, it looks as if we're only going to be talking about mid-20s across the southeast. So a UK maximum temperature of only 25, possibly 26 Celsius here. And then we could see a couple of fairly chilly nights as well as that colder air comes down from the north. We may even see a touch of frost in Highland Glens, for example, believe it or not, during the course of next week with that discharge of cleaner, fresher, albeit summer version Arctic air back in play once again. Looking at the rainfall here, so this is over the next couple of days here. We do see the heaviest rainfall initially over Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland, but then as we play through the course of early and mid next week, we see the rains starting to become a little bit more widespread here. Measurable rainfall eventually, hopefully, reaching places such as Odium, Benson and other areas that have been extremely dry over recent times. And you can see here as I play through the total accumulated precipitation, could see some fairly significant amounts of rain across northern portions of the British Isles. Looking at finally the GFS ensemble here, so the upcoming 5 days, still warm, but we're seeing a decrease in temperature as the area of low pressure moves in. 6 to 10 days, you can see here, below normal across Scotland. That is welcome news. Still slightly above normal, as you can see here, across much of England and Wales. And then the 11 to 15 day, you can see here that temperatures are on the rise once again. We'll look at the very end of August in hopefully tomorrow's video. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be talking about autumn and even winter in the coming weeks. Bye for now.